There we go. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. It's 1:30 in Denver, Colorado. We're at the intersection, the famous intersection of Broadway and Evans. So far, things are going well. But you never know how stuff's gonna go, so when in doubt, go live. Yeah, so I was just driving, making some contacts with some folks that I'm trying to find right now. And I just saw 4 cops standing here, right here, having a conversation. So I went and found me a parking spot because they're really jacking up traffic. They were just chatting it up over here. Now there's this vehicle here, and it's a city vehicle. I think the back of it says Civil Report Unit, something like that. But it's a city vehicle. We have 3 regular officers here and 1 corporal. And so far everybody was super cordial. When I asked them what was going on, they said it was a car crash. Okay, well, this is what everything looked like when I first saw it, so there's no other vehicle except that city vehicle. So I proceeded to ask them, was it a hit and run? And this nice corporal, I don't know, so far he's nice, said, no, ma'am. But he offered no other explanation. So and now I'm wondering what kind of accident this city vehicle and this city worker is involved in with no other vehicle, no obvious damage from this side. I haven't seen the front end. I don't know if it involves this construction going on the public sidewalk, which I have no idea how you're supposed to navigate this public sidewalk. There's a lot of foot traffic here, a lot. So apparently if you're on foot, you need to use the side entrance or step into the lane of traffic. So yeah, that's a code violation right there. That's a construction code violation of some magnitude, I guarantee it. But at any rate, so they all decided to huddle after they realized they were paying too much attention to me. The corporal kind of snapped his fingers and said, hey, get back in the huddle here. And then they decided that they should probably get back in their vehicles because this woman was asking too many questions. So, yeah, this corner, I just figured it was a call for a homeless individual, not one that had probably needed help or had expired right here on the corner. By the way, this is exactly where Jesse died, right across the street there, by those 2 trees in front of that dental office. Which, yeah, by the way, that call to 911 came in from that dental office, and nobody bothered to even go out and, check on Jesse or offer any sort of aid from a medical office in case something might have saved his life. I mean, nobody would have known, right? Because nobody bothered. They just stayed inside and made the call. And then told investigators that they didn't want to be contacted. Yeah. So, I just figured it was a call here today for a homeless individual, probably just standing on a sidewalk, which prompted, quick response and 4 officers to come address a homeless person here in District 3. The district that loves to arrest me. The only district that has continued to arrest me. No warrants today, but that doesn't mean shit, right? Who knows? But instead, we find out it was a city worker involved in a vehicle crash. So that's actually what prompted the quick response and 4 officers just to come make sure that the city worker was safe and the scene was secure, right? And that they do a thorough investigation to clear the city worker of any wrongdoing. You know, I mean, Denver is self-insured and all. So, yeah, these skies are a little ominous. I don't know. We were super hot. It cooled down quick when these clouds came over. We're having such bizarre weather this year. Hey, Starla, how you doing? You're gonna come here and you're gonna dress in your dirtiest, raggiest clothes and walk around that area. Yeah, well, we could do that together if you want to. I don't mind. Yeah, this is a heavy, heavy intersection for a lot of traffic. Foot, car, otherwise. That's a brand new apartment complex, a block long, as you can see there. Lots of affordable housing available in there. Lots. You have a razor tongue, Starla? No. That makes you not a fan. By the police and government. You be careful with that razor tongue of yours. All right, so the door is opening. Let's see what's going to happen. Yeah, it is hot. It's going to rain. Hey, can I have your card when you're done, please? Or now, whenever. You've been exceptionally cordial. Thank you. So what's going? Oh, your name is Blake. That's my son's name.
Lucky guy.
Well, yeah, he's exceptionally smart.
I don't think that.
Yeah, he is.
I do.
So, but I'm really curious. Where's the other? Why is there a crash? What's going on here?
So there's a crash. That's the only involved vehicle.
That's the only involved vehicle. What did they hit?
Another thing.
Another thing. They hit another thing. Was there a cone in the road? They hit another thing. Okay, well, hopefully we got a smart one here. Blake Torres. They hit a thing. So maybe the cement truck. Oh yeah, they hit something involving this construction crew. Look at this dangerous ass scene. I'm telling you, the way construction is done around this city, these are consistent accidents waiting to happen anyway. They close streets when they're not supposed to. They don't close lanes and streets when they should. The list is long here. So, hey, Denver Department of Public Safety, you're watching this. You're just failing. All your code enforcers and all your people that are supposed to be keeping everybody safe. Look what's happening here. They hit another thing. I thought that's why you had to get all these permits and follow all these rules and regulations and ordinances and all this stuff. So who was at fault for hitting another thing? And do we really need 4 cops on this? I mean, this intersection is bad enough as it is. Well, I mean, I hope thing actually means thing and not person, right? Words have meanings, but sometimes cops have a hard time understanding what certain words mean. So, hey Amanda, how you doing? I'm having a hard time seeing chat. I got the wrong glasses on. Irish Rover, they only understand pig Latin. His report. Car hit thing. Let's ask him if that's what he's going to put in the report. Perhaps the city worker driving that car had a liquid lunch. Yes, always a possibility, right? And maybe drove up on the curb and then drove back down. Oh, okay, so it's supposed to say the words, oh, it says civilian report unit. I thought those were like those crash investigator units. What's a civilian report unit? I'm sure it's somebody that gives tickets, generates revenue. These guys are just chilling on their phones. Okay, the civilian report unit is driving off. And they are using their turn signal in the right lane. Is that report gonna read that city worker hit a thing? City worker hits thing?
If you would like to try to gain that report.
Could you write that case report down for me, pretty please? Huh?
No.
Wait, why?
You're not involved party to this crash. You're not involved party to the accident.
But,
I don't have to.
well, you should though. I mean, it's just a matter of public record. Wait, you were doing so good. You were doing so good. Just give me the case report.
I'm more than happy to look it up if you like.
You will look it up for me? That'd be great. Well, how do I look it up?
You can call records. You can tell them that there was a crash at this location at this date.
They don't answer the phone though. You can't just call records. Did you know that? You got to have the case report. Did you know that?
Call them.
But it's a matter of public record. Just write it down for me, please. Please? God damn it, he was doing so good. He's the one that told me if I wanted the information, I could get the case. Damn it. He just wasted more time telling me no than he would have just writing it down. Shit, that was almost a grade A interaction till Corporal Blake fucked it all up. All right, well, whatever. Off we go. As you can see, traffic, backed up for miles. So, at any rate, let's get back in the car and catch up. Mysteriously, there's probably not a case being generated on that, is my guess. What's your guess? What's your guess of what just went down? City worker hits a thing. First, 4 cops are standing on the corner just chatting it up, laughing, just giggling. I see it in the car, right at the intersection. So it takes me a good, probably close to 10 minutes to safely park, get out of my car, walk over there. They're still standing there just giggling it up. And then they see the camera. I got 8 minutes of recording before all that. I said, well, hey, what's going on? Oh, there's a crash. Oh, okay. A crash. So, is there another vehicle involved? Are there injuries? Yeah, they kind of entertain my questions a little bit, and then Corporal snaps them back to attention. Huddle, guys. Back in the huddle now. Stop paying attention to her. She's going to distract the shit out of you. One of you is going to do something stupid. We're going to get caught on camera. Focus. Focus. So then they all decided to get back in their cars. And then I went live. Hey, Aurora. What's Starla saying? I should have had donuts. I need to travel with donuts at all times. I have Starla. Oh, thank you. That super chat, super sticker. I love it. Much appreciated, lady. Thank you very much. And if anybody's wondering who Starla is, that is Mr. Steve Olson, Cowboys, ex-wife, and Destiny's mother. And she's been wonderful and supportive through this whole process that Destiny and I continue to go through with no answers. No response from Adams County. No response to my complaints. Haven't heard word from Destiny that she's been provided the coroner's report. Nothing. So all of that is still in limbo. In the meantime, there's just more crisis that I'm trying to address little by little as I'm trying to slow down a little bit, but it's making it impossible. So that's where we're at with Cowboys stuff. CRT, Chuck Chat, late, Regan. What'd I do? My camera's all screwed up. Sorry. Shits and giggles, what's going on, my friend? So, yeah. So, I'm just trying to cut off more tragedy about to happen with Denver and all their infinite wisdom, with stuffing people in motels, and then putting them in programs that don't amount to anything but more problems. And we got to get Jerry Lewis in a situation where he's not back out on the streets, because he's going to be back out on the streets in less than probably 30 days. If I can't pull it together with other resources that Denver can't seem to pull together. I mean, story of our lives out here, right? Do you love my hairdo today? My hair ain't doing good today. Some days I forget I even have hair. How's that? So, another really interesting thing occurred the day before yesterday. You see who we have with us today. I forgot to mention, as I was telling you, that Jesse died right here. Right behind me on the street. If you were watching the stream earlier, you saw me point out exactly where Jesse died. And he's with us today. So far good things have continued to happen. We'll see if they do pan out. But hey man, you try to do this. Love, Jesse. Hey man, you have no idea what it's like to do this. Why don't you try it? Some of Jesse's famous sayings. So, at any rate, about Jesse, a couple days ago, 2 days ago, maybe it was yesterday. I can't remember. Yesterday or the day before. I got this random phone call out of the blue. Out of the blue. But I just have been really struggling with the cowboy thing, and Jesse's always on my mind. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with his ashes. I've got a small urn of cowboy that I'm trying to figure out exactly what blown glass locket that I want to put some ashes in. So all this stuff's just weighing heavy on my mind. I get this phone call out of the blue, and it says a city and county of Denver on the caller ID. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Who's this? Right? I'm just prepping for the worst, or some argument, or some level of bullshit. Turns out it's a woman. Her name is Brenda, and she's from the Denver coroner's office, the medical examiner's office. And I think you've probably heard me say it before, but if you haven't, I haven't said it enough then. I cannot say enough good about Denver's medical examiner's office. They are pretty damn exceptional at what they do. And it's a little bothersome that the only amount of professionalism, consistent professionalism, courtesy, and compassion is being shown through that medical examiner's office as people are dying. As this city continues to sweep the homeless literally to their death. And I've had some very good conversations with the people that work there, but I've never had an in-depth feelings conversation. Oh, Stacy, thank you. That's very nice of you. Thank you for that $10 super chat. Guys, just so you know, when you give through YouTube, you know, they take at least 30%, if not more. I think it might have gone up. So just FYI, I mean, I appreciate it. And of course, you know, it keeps the channel alive and all of that. So it's much appreciated. Don't get me wrong. But if you want every single dollar to go to the nonprofit, the best way is to donate through all the ways to donate. I think maybe one of the mods could put that up in here, but if not, it's in the About section. But again, thank you very much. Just wanted to give you that little housekeeping note on YouTube and super chats and super stickers. So this woman, Brenda, calls me and introduces herself. She's the director of a program called FAST, Family Advocate Support Team, through the medical examiner's office. And this has been a program in effect for 18 months. and she is the director of it. And for whatever reason, this case, Jesse, was flagged for a follow-up to connect with the family or the next of kin or whoever was associated with that individual's death. And of course, it was just me, because no one claimed Jesse. Jesse laid in the morgue for a while before I knew he was dead, and that he had died right here behind me. And so I started the process, of course, to claim him, to give him some respect and dignity. And the staff was very accommodating, very cordial, had answers for me, always answered the phone. I wasn't stuck in some stupid, endless phone tree. And they did everything they said they were going to do, and then some. And now this follow-up call from Brenda, months later, just checking on me. That was her introduction into the conversation. I am just calling to check on you. And I just kind of paused, and I was like, whoa. And I, of course, kind of burst into tears and told her how much that was appreciated. And that for the first time ever, from this entire city, somebody, a government worker, cared about another person in general. She's in the business of to care about families that have experienced sudden death. So their program targets families that have lost people in homicides, car accidents, and ODs. Even though Jesse's death wasn't ruled an OD, it was a culmination of things, obviously, in that report that prompted the phone call. And I was very grateful for it. So, thank you, Brenda and team. She's got interns that'll continue to do this work, and she said the goal by the end of the year is to make contact with those that have even lost people from natural causes, and that's important stuff. But in this conversation, we had a lot of heart-to-heart conversation about things that shouldn't have been happening around Cowboy's death. And I really wish I would have had this woman on speed dial before. I think she could have at least guided me to do some things differently. They are very much in tune with how families are getting answers and results. She made some commentary that they do not hear good things about Adams County. And am I really calloused and cold to say I'm really sorry that Cowboy didn't pass away in Denver, because things would be different. However, Denver's programming, Health and Human Services, host the Housing and Sustainability bullshit acronym team, who doesn't give a fuck about a single homeless person out here, are the ones that stuffed him in that motel in Adams County. It borders Denver and Adams County. And so because it's in unincorporated Adams County, Denver doesn't do any, they have no involvement. Even though that program stuck him in that motel. They're like washing our hands of it. They have the gumption or common sense to say, you know what, we probably ought to try to locate this man's family upon his death. No, the hotel staff told me they called the director, and the director told them that they should probably figure out how to get in contact with his family. This is Denver. This is Denver in a nutshell. And it's disgusting. It's horrid. Everything about it is a nightmare. And then this glimmer of a person comes up through the woodwork, through the medical examiner's office. After the fact. I mean, I really appreciate that, but how about the things we could be doing to be proactive before we have to have conversations with the fucking medical examiner's office? I don't know. That's just me. Silly me, you know. But at any rate, Amanda, thank you for putting the link tree, and I still have not fixed that. Amazon Smiles is no longer a thing. However, Amanda has been helping me on the Amazon wish list, and I'm asking people really right now in lieu of money donations. I mean, the nonprofit needs the money. However, we just have some unique opportunities right now for others to be doing outreach that I can help do outreach with them by supplying them some of those much needed items. So if anybody could put that wish list link in here, that would be incredibly helpful. Starla, please, everyone, this is a perfect time to pay it forward. For you that don't know Regan and what she stands for, she is the voice and strength and power for people who have been kicked while down. Yeah, I definitely will stand strong in being that advocate. And that doesn't involve money. That just involves time and a little bit of courage, truly. You know, I mean, we don't have enough cameras. Continue to tell people, get out there and record. When you see these cops interacting with the homeless, you've got to record it. And so we've got a new thing going on. And Aurora, thank you for putting that wish list link in there. Are we good? No sound? No sound? Are we back? Okay. All right, good. So as I was starting to say, we got a new mayor. He's wishy-washy on continuing sweeps. So we've got this new process going on between the city attorney's office advising the police how to be more aggressive in stealing people's homes or RVs or trailers. You got some rogue cops just doing whatever the hell they want, literally sitting at their desk, typing up a form of their own with their own language and going and sticking it on legal trailers and giving them notices that aren't following the law. Then you got this one, this cop over in District 4. His name is Avila. You've seen him on video before. He's the super obese cop that sits in his car most of the time and plays on his phone during sweeps. You've seen him in the past. But now he's covering for Blea working with Blea over in District 4 because it's probably the only thing he can physically do. And yeah, I'm being harsh because he deserves it, because he should be fucking shit canned for not getting his physical stature and health under control, because he's a liability to every single taxpayer in this city and county. So what do? They stick him on the homeless detail and him, get in and out of his car as necessary. Most of the time I hear stories about him just pulling up and rolling down the window. But today apparently he got out of his car and had quite an interaction with one of our elderly women. So we're going to see how all that went down when we get the body cam footage. But yeah, he's gonna go get a warrant for her RV, and he's gonna steal her home. And the city attorney's gonna help, and the mayor is gonna be like, I have no idea what's going on, even though I got elected, claiming to know everything that was going on in this city. Oh shit, I didn't know they were doing this. I mean, they've only been doing it for a couple years now on the regular, and it's all over the internet, and I had the best staff to fill me in on everything homeless, so I'd have all the correct messaging to get elected. And I might end the sweeps. Oh yeah, I'm going to end the sweeps. But wait, now I'm not going to end the sweeps because I'm getting too much pushback from all the people that donated to my campaign. Oh my God, what do? Oh, well, I'll go hide and I'll let the city attorney just run the show and then I'll take an entourage with me everywhere I make a public appearance, I really won't answer questions. I really won't get right down to the point of why this is one of the most horrific things we're doing to people. But hey, thank you, Johnston for mayor. Yeah. So be watching, probably for some more documentation of Denver continuing their wrath of driving the homeless to their death, stealing all their property, and leaving them to stand on the corner with absolutely no help or support unless it's us. So same shit, different day, new politician. And that's not even touching Inglewood. Yeah, don't even get me started there. So, okay, one last push, everybody. If you are wanting to donate, please do so right now with supplies through that Amazon wish list. The nonprofit address is attached to that wish list. If you see some other things on Amazon that you'd like to send, please do. We are going to be gearing up for some winter heat supplies that are safe, which include Little Buddy heaters, because there are other places besides Denver that are going to need some support with that, so people don't freeze to death. And so we don't have another year of people losing half of their legs and all of their feet, all of their toes, most of their fingers. Yeah. Because, our shelter system is really, really productive here. It's overflowing. We don't have enough room. And you can't be here. We don't know where you can be, but you can't be here, and you certainly cannot have your survival gear. So go about your way and die. Yeah, that's where we're at. So we're still planning to continue that discussion, the panel discussion that I started with Lawrence Accountability, Michael from Kansas, and a couple Jens who are going to be regulars in that panel. One is the camp mom for a sanctioned camp in Little Lawrence, Kansas, and the other one is a social worker, and I love them both. They've got great insight. This week's topic is supposed to be shelter. I'm supposed to be having some people sent my way to be able to have this discussion from the Denver perspective on Sunday. I hope that's still happening. If not, I'm not an expert to speak to shelter and the conditions. I'm not going to pretend like I am. We want to hear from people on the streets and those that have worked in the shelter system or seen firsthand what goes on in the shelter system. But that's the topic. And the reason for this topic is because it's not just a Denver issue. It's all over the country. Lawrence can't seem to get anything under control there to get people into shelter, so they make this sanctioned half-ass camp, and they're now trespassing advocates from this camp, from this city, from this publicly owned and ran camp, keeping people behind the fence and trespassing anyone that dare try to work with them that the city doesn't approve of. So there's some really hokey shit going down in Lawrence, Kansas. And that's why I really like this awareness factor and this panel, because Denver and Kansas are kind of the epicenter here in the United States. I want to get some folks from Arizona and, expand it from there. So we can kind of keep a historic digital record of what is transpiring. So that's the reason for the panel. If you're watching this stream and you have shelter experience in Denver, would you please email me so I can get you on this panel on Sunday? But that's the goal. We're going to have a couple people from each side, from the Denver side and from the Lawrence, Kansas side, to include both gens. So on this panel, my goal is always to keep not be going the conversation hopefully tight this Sunday on two. Hey, Liberty Blair. It like is a literal FEMA camp. It is a government sanctioned camp right there in Little Lawrence, Kansas, and only certain people allowed in and out. That's blowing in. Okay, this guy's just gonna flip a U-turn, right? I think a lot of people are intoxicated. That's cool, dude. That's cool. Is the buffering any better? That's better? Okay. So I hope you caught my drift there on what's going on in Lawrence, Kansas with this very bizarre little sanctioned camp over there. And government is only allowing certain people in and out of it. And they're trespassing advocates, felony trespassing charges. So yeah, there's some things to pay attention to there. And I think Lawrence probably wants to continue to replicate this with doubling down on anyone that dare try to show compassion and work with the homeless. It's a little weird, right? So FEMA death camp, yeah, not too far off. And an individual who works in that camp, really, who's been hired by the government, AB, has 44 felonies in his past. Okay, that's interesting. Starla, can you contact someone to see about getting bulk little buddy heaters? I doubt it. That is a hot commodity item right now. I would also like to find a donor for fire extinguishers, because it should be the goal that everything that goes out to create heat have a safety mechanism attached to it, and it really doesn't get any better than a fire extinguisher. Okay, so these things get very complicated when you're trying to help people not die by giving them something that is potentially very dangerous when not used properly, right? So we've had discussions about propane and things like that. I don't like propane out on the streets. I really don't. But the 1 gallon canisters are legal pretty much everywhere. They are in the city and county of Denver. So there is that. So the little buddy heaters have to accommodate the 1 gallon canisters. I'm not doing anything to fight City Hall on trying to keep people alive and warm. There are ways to do it safely. And government doesn't want people to be safe. They want them to be dead. So there's, we're towing that fine line. And for those of you that watched the other day when I was down in Civic Center Park and I had that conversation with Captain Nunn from the Denver Fire Department, remember we had a good solid piece of education out here on the street from the Denver Fire Department. And it helped me tremendously in my work. It helped save lives. It helped keep people safe, and it was working. So what happened? That person got fired. Mark Riddoff got fired from the Denver Fire Department because he was doing things the city had no interest in doing, even though they say that their education components in that Denver Fire Department are about life safety. No, they're not. They are about PR stunts. They are about how to make themselves look good. And they are about housed people only and mostly for the children. Because when you do for the children, it feels oh so good, and you can't possibly question education and outreach for the children from the firefighters and the police. Because it feels oh so good not only for the children, but their parents, who look at the whole PR stunt, don't realize it's a PR stunt, and they say, oh, My children are loved. My children are taken care of by government. And we have all these haters out here of the police and these nice firemen that do nothing but save lives. Well, parents, you are fucking dumb. And I'm sorry, you have to learn the hard way, but that's just how it's going to work out for you. But in the meantime, I know what's up, and I know what involves safety, and the word government doesn't enter that equation, okay? If government wanted people to be safe, that day in Civic Center Park when Captain Nunn told me that everybody can get a smoke alarm, a fire detector, a smoke alarm for their home, but you can't get a fire extinguisher. Right. Mm-hmm. So my nonprofit one year spent a shit ton of money on fire extinguishers. I had tried to reach out to company that does those, KIDD or whatever that company is, got no response. I, of course, didn't go to Home Depot and say, hey, I'm a nonprofit. Can you give me a better deal than what you have on sale here? I just went to Home Depot when they had this magnificent sale on those fire extinguishers, and I stocked up on a whole bunch of them. So, yeah, hand warmers, always. We always need hand warmers. That's always a thing. They're not on the wish list yet. We have some more to get started with this season. We're of course, going to need more. But those aren't the only means to being able to combat the temperatures when they go below zero here, okay? So those only go so far and only work so long and in so many situations. And when you're super bundled up, they tend to not work as well on the feet, right? And the hands. And so, yeah, constant supplies of hand warmers. Boiled corruption. Officer Friendly gave my little girl a coloring book when he came to school. I threw it in the garbage and told her never trust the police. First of all, what are they doing bringing the police in to public schools that are tasked with reading, writing, and arithmetic and taking up valuable education time with cop speak? What does that have to do with public education? Zero. So I got my start in the public school system because of dumb shit like this. And I fought it every step of the way. If you're going to be taking my child out of his regular academic programming that I understand to be going on a daily basis, you're going to ask me. And you're going to get my permission first. And if you don't, I will come remove my child from your programming. And it happened often, trust me. It happened quite often. It happened so often that the Jefferson County Public School System in Colorado tried to institute a no trespassing order on me at all my children's schools and events. You've heard this go on before throughout the country. Yeah, that didn't work out either. But what they did do was started to double down on my kids, right? And make life more miserable for them. So the education piece stopped at like 8th grade. So I'm not even sure why, other than, you know, my kids loved social hour at school. I mean, they had a hell of a great time. Look, that's the environment that the administration in the school system created for them. I was like, hell, I can't fight that. I mean, they're done learning. If you guys are getting in your good socialization with your friends, you're learning how to problem solve, and you're learning how to unravel corruption in the public school system and the government and the police, who am I? Who am I to tell you guys at this age that you should stop going to public school? So, yeah, my kids are very well known in the Jefferson County Public School System, and I'm okay with that. So, yeah, but anyway, a little off topic, but I homeschooled for a little while too, Lois, but they didn't like the social component because that's when, homeschooling was just starting to take off and there weren't quite as many homeschool groups and other resources and connectivity for them. So we just kind of did our own thing. And I'll tell you what, even if when I kept them home for homeschooling, even if I hadn't taught them a damn thing, even if we had not sat down and actually did educational things, they were so much better off. And they just learned so much more being in my presence, going through life on a daily basis. They learned how to communicate. They actually learned how to write because they could talk first, right? They actually were able to read first. And that was because of me. I had to teach my kids to read because the school kept telling me, your damn kids, they will not sit down and read this book by the end of kindergarten. And damn it, Miss Benson, if you don't get these kids on some drugs so they sit their asses down in these seats, your kids are headed for prison. They're going to prison because they're not going to have an education. I'm not, if I had a video and I never filmed anything, I never filmed. Of course, it's public school, right? I mean, you're not going to go in there filming every single interaction. Trust me, I filmed some meetings with some administrators and some cops and stuff like that. But if I had a video for every time I had these interactions for my 3 sons, I'd probably have about 50,000 videos on this channel. And that's the reason this channel started. I started it back in 2011, and it was because these cops were going and giving all these talks at the schools, assemblies, right? And they were inviting parents. So I started posting some of that stuff. I've set it to private since then, so it's not there anymore. But yeah, that's where my activism got ignited. It didn't get started there. Government ignited it. And it's just kind of been burning since then. All right, so oh yeah, Liberty Blair. Oh yeah, I was told numerous times that my kids were on the pipeline to prison. They're the ones that introduced me. They introduced me to understanding what the true meaning to the pipeline to prison is. And it's public schools. And there's real data, there's real research, there's real talk about how they criminalize kids right into the prison pipeline because they start targeting them for, truancy, and then you got truancy court. Oh, I used to spend all kinds of time in truancy court. We were never there because I was smarter to figure out how to navigate that than the average Joe. But I used to go sit in truancy court and watch cases. And I used to help a lot of parents because they didn't understand the rights. And, in some jurisdictions, judges were claiming that they were going to start sending parents to jail. And I actually worked with a legislator to end the option of anybody being sent to jail over truancy. And who killed the bill? This legislator that I worked with. This is why I will not ever waste time with this. I spent hours and months working with this legislator to pass this bill, and guess who killed it? The Democrats. The fucking Democrats said, no, we can't have this. We need jail. These kids need to know that if they don't go to school, they're going to go to jail. The Democrats killed the bill. True story. And it was a Republican running the bill for me. True story. Senator Chris Holbert at the time. Stacy, they killed my son with that damn medication. I will never be the same. That's harsh. Wow, I'm sorry. Snarky, you're way late. You're way late. But we're about to end this. Mexican Free Press. Hey, how you doing? Cliff, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, Stacy, it's hard to pause and reflect on that. My advice to parents is to never, ever, ever take the bait. When government tells you your kid's not doing something right, that means they're actually doing it right. So, And the things we're doing to boys, yeah, not good. It was a long time ago. I was stupid then. No, don't ever call yourself stupid. You were vulnerable to what you thought you were doing right, because I was there too. I was there too. When my kids were super little and they were in, preschool, I bought everything that was dished out to me. But by the time my second one got to kindergarten, I went, and my other one was in second grade, I said, yeah, shit ain't right here. No. We're not going this route. I'm the parent, not you. Your job is to teach my kid these simple educational tasks to complete their education. You're crossing the line, right? So you have to learn through experience, or have a very strong, solid family system, which I didn't have. And I hope my kids now, based on their experiences and things they went through and things they saw me advocating for them, I hope they'll go back to their roots every single time. But that's the only way you know how to do that, is if you actually had that. So don't ever fault yourself for trusting people that are supposed to have your children's best interest in mind. Are there good teachers out there? Sure, there are. They're hit and miss. And they're not a complete component for a thorough and proper education for K through 12. They're just not. There are a whole shit ton of shitty teachers out there. And thank a local teachers union for that. And if you really get into the nuts and bolts of education, it all boils down to teachers unions. And if you're a supporter of public unions, we will never see eye to eye on that issue, ever. So taxpayers should not have things negotiated behind closed doors because of unions at my expense. No. And my children's expense. And many other children's expense. Anyway, I could just keep talking forever. It's kind of nice to talk, but I gotta go. Smash that like button on your way out. Again, we're gonna have that panel on Sunday at 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I hope you'll join. The topic is shelter. We hope that you'll give to the Amazon wish list, that you buy items for outreach, because we've got people that do outreach and need those items. And all the ways to donate are in the About section of the channel. Mods, thank you very much. Amanda, thank you. Irish Rover, Roar Transparency, I know you were in here. And yeah, I'm going to keep smiling. See you guys Sunday, maybe before then.